Alright folks, we are in Glenrio, Texas. Actually, this would be Glenrio, New Mexico. Almost in Texas. And give you a little information about Glenrio. This section of Route 66 that we are on right here is part of the 1926 to 1952 alignment. And Glenrio was a prosperous little community here. In 1952, when I-40 opened, which is right out over here, Glenrio's traffic died like most towns did when they got bypassed by the highway. But it did continue to survive. And then in 1955, the train depot closed here, and that was pretty much the end of the town. I believe in 2018, Glenrio had a population of 2. And there's several locations here in Glenrio that we're going to look at. This right here being the first one. And Janet's got some information on this little rascal here. Let's see if we can't walk over to it.
All right. J.W. Ferguson Jr. built this in 1946. It was a mobile gas station. And you could kind of see there's some concrete in the middle and the front. But somebody said it was used as a post office for a little while. Some are saying no, it wasn't here. But this looks older than 46 to me.
Yeah, it does. Looks like it's going to fall apart, or it already has.
Yeah.
The ceiling's gone. They definitely didn't have a service bay here, it doesn't look like. Now behind it, there's another building back there in the distance. Looks like that may have been a residence back there beyond the tree. There is an old car sitting back there, the hull of one. Wow, just not much left.
Yeah.
Now,
See, look, it says office. It does say post office on the side.
oh, okay, yeah, it does.
So this was a post office.
So it later became a post office. Wow.
Well,
And Janet and I came through here, oh goodness, probably 20 times, but the last time we've really driven through this little town was probably 15 years ago, and there was a lot more left of it then than there is now. So who knows how much longer it'll be around. And this building here, and the one behind it, was the State Line Bar, gas station, and motel. This gas station opened in 1935. Real quick, this little building right next door that's attached to it, this was an old post office. And this post office was actually in use all the way up until 2007. But this was their little post office. Now this right here was the bar and gas station. It was built in 1935, and this concrete facade was added around 1960.
yeah. And it used to have a canopy.
Yeah, you can see where it was attached.
Yeah.
Okay. And the pumps must have been sitting right out here in this concrete area. They're no longer here. We'll take a look inside. Be careful, there may be snakes.
Yeah, that's my first thought.
We learned our lesson on that.
Look at some carpet. Ooh.
Yeah, modern carpet. It looks like the bar was back here because they've got lounge chairs back here, or booths. Not much left, man. Yeah, ceiling caving in on us.
Wow. Wow. Ooh. Yeah. Floor's giving in. Watch out.
That's about all that's left of it here. Now, right next door, we'll walk around the side here, is where the motel was. The motel actually opened in 1930, and
Yeah.
It had 8 rooms.
Wow.
And that looks like a mess trying to get back there.
Yeah.
But that right back out here was the motel.
And they added bathrooms in the 50s. They actually had a toilet and a wash basin in the rooms. They didn't have it until the 50s. Isn't that weird?
I wonder what people did before then. Used buckets or just went on the ground?
Outhouse?
Yikes.
Yeah. I guess that's how it was in the old days, huh?
I guess. Yeah, you can see the side of the gas station is literally crumbling apart.
That's Adobe.
Yeah, underneath it sure was. Right, we are in Glenrio, Texas now. We have crossed over the border. This is actually a really cool location. This is the Glenrio Motel and Cafe. And this sign right up here, let me see if I can zoom in on it. This side of this sign right here used to say Motel Cafe, but in the middle of it, it said first motel in Texas is what it said on this side. Now I'll walk over to the other side. On the other side of this sign, instead of saying first motel in Texas, it would say last motel in Texas. If you were heading west, this was the last overnight accommodations in Texas. If you're heading east, it was the first. And right down here underneath the signage was the cafe. It's pretty derelict now. It's been in ruins for years. We actually, one time about 15 years ago when we came through Glenrio, there was about 6 horses inside of this building with hay bales, and they were all eating. I don't know if they were wild horses or if they were somebody's pets, but nobody was around except for the horses. And they seemed happy in there. At least they weren't sitting out in the sun.
Pretty big place, huh?
Yeah, it was. And another little interesting feature of this is the Route 66 shield that's painted on the ground here. I guess this is the first official Route 66 shield in Texas. Kind of an interesting little feature. And the motel sits right behind this cafe. We'll walk back there and see if there's anything left of it. Boy, wouldn't this be a scary place to come out to at night, because you know there's no lights out here. The back side of the cafe's got all kinds of graffiti on it. See if we can't take a look at these modern rooms. Yeah, you gotta watch for killer bees in areas like this. Now these rooms are so far gone that even squatters won't stay in them. Of course, I don't know what the squatter would be doing out here. Wilhelm was here in 2021. They've got a cattleman's linear measurement handbook on the ground there. hornet's nest up on the wall in that room. We'll walk down the corridor here, go over to where the office was. You know, this was a nice place when it was new, obviously. This is a large motor court. I didn't realize it was this big. This is obviously the laundry area. And see if I can't see how old these newspapers are. All right. November 6, 1997. So it's been here a while. It is a scary place, isn't it? This right here looks like it could have either been the office or possibly the living quarters for the manager or owner here. Yeah, this is living quarters here. I thought this was probably the office, but I think this is probably where the manager or the owner stayed. All right, we're in Glenrio, Texas, and this little building right here was built by Joseph Brownlee. We're not sure what year it was built, but it's definitely old. This was the Brownlee Diner. It was also known as the Little Juarez Diner. Later it became a curio shop, but we're not sure on the dates. But today it's just a relic. It has private property, no trespassing signs on it, so we're not going to get any closer than this. And then right next door to the Brownlee Diner was a Texaco gas station, and same on it. We don't have dates as to when it was built. It has no trespassing signs also, so we'll stay back away from it. It's got an old Pontiac sitting in front of it.
And it belonged to the son-in-law, Larry Lee Travis.
Son-in-law of Mr. Brownlee?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Mr. Larry Lee Travis owned this Texaco station.
No, the car.
Oh, the car.
The car is the son-in-law.
Oh, my mistake. The car is Mr. Brownlee's son-in-law's car. We do not know for sure if Mr. Brownlee owned the gas station or not, but it was a Texaco station, and at one time the facade of the Texaco station was painted the same color as the diner's facade over here. Today it's not.
Travis died in a robbery.
Yikes.
When he worked at a standard gas station in Adrian, Texas in 1976.
That's not good.
No.
Neat looking old gas station though. And this is our last stop in Glenrio, Texas. Next we'll be heading to Adrian, Texas, folks. Yeah, this is where their sign used to be, right up here. It's a shame to see an entire community like Glenrio just gone. It's like a ghost town. It is a ghost town.
Strange RV tours will take you places with Greg and Janet's smiling faces. You might see a crazy flavored soda review or some tips to fit your RV too. So come along, won't you join us, friend, as we discover what's around the bend. Just sit right back in your easy chair. Strange RV Tours is on the air. Strange RV Tours is on the air.